Hello guys, welcome to another mixing tutorial. Let's take a look at this fucking epic cover that I am very happy with of Where We Go When We Die by Thornhill. This one, it's actually pretty big, but it's pretty simple as well. Let me turn off my master bus processing and explain it at the end. Move on to drums. Drums is a sound that you know. So this is my usual P4 drum sound. And to get the full rundown on it, you go to the currents mixing tutorial. So you go to the Patreon page, you type in currents, and the song is called A Flag to Wave. And in that mixing tutorial, I show you how to get this epic drum sound with the P4. VK snare, loads of room. It's based on my P4 demo review video, but there's enough changes that I explain it again in that currents mixing tutorial, so go check it again. Bass for this cover is a mixture of Euro bass, we're on the low parts, and my real bass on the chill parts. My strings are very dead, so I couldn't pull off doing the low parts with it. So the low parts are Euro bass. And guys, don't make fun of me. This is the stock Euro bass sound. So this plugin comes with a mixed sound. That's the DI, and that's the mixed distortion sound that I try not to use because everyone has it and I want my unique bass sound, but today it just worked. So that is exactly what I'm using. It's nice, it's not very busy in the mids like my tones usually turn out. And the only mixing that's done is removing the very low subs beneath 35. Super low shit. And I'm taking down that notch there, which is a very annoying spike in the highs. If I take it off, it's way whistly with it off. That is the bass tone for the fucking thing. When it's my real bass, it's only 2 plugins anyways. So the bass tone is brought to you by Joel Wanasek Bus Glue Bass. The DI sounds like this. Very boxy, very dead. We want to compress that low end to keep it stable and distort the top end to give it some crunch. That's what this guy does. Compression on the low end, not too heavy. Compression on the top end, a little bit heavier. And distortion type B gives you this crunch. That's it. I want to control some mids after it. I don't want to control some mids after it. I just let it be. That's amazing. What a bass tone. What a couple of bass tones there. The filtering is way heavier on this one. I would never filter my bass all the way up to 60, but since these are soft verses, I can afford to take that low end off. It just makes the Euro bass parts slam that much harder. Let's compare. It really does it. So let's talk guitars here, because I'm very happy with these guitars, and here's what's happening. So that's the DIs we are working with. And here is my old friend, Toneforge Jason Richardson, just coming back strong. Because back when I had this, I wasn't as good of a mixer as I was before. As I am now, I mean, and now I can really tame this beast because it's very bassy and I know exactly where to tame it here the 100 and 180 region, and exactly where to boost in the highs to compensate in the 1.5K and 5K. If I can save this, look at all my old presets there. Save preset as when we die. And now's the default. This is how the plugin loads default. It's very dark on default, so be sure to EQ it up right here. After that, it's all about controlling the low end. So let me move the scale up. Can I? Oh, it was there. Yeah, this is going to help me see better. So first things first, low cut. Beneath 80 is too low of a frequency to keep on stereo guitars. Palm mute control. So there's always a little dynamic thing I like to do, compressing the palm mute low end when it's too much. That's around the 150 area. Really, really helpful. And then it's all about shaping it. Once again, boosting mid-range, because this plugin is very dark. And cutting the honky mids at 500 and 260. Still very bassy, but way more controlled. And there's also this trick, which you know by now, where if you use this EQ or any EQ that has a mid-side capability, you can EQ just the center channel of the guitars. So they are stereo, but there's going to be some low end that builds up in the middle that you can cut out for wideness. Little magic trick. After that, it's all about making them more powerful. So bus glue guitars keeps them more controlled, so louder all the time. Trans X, you know, this is my trick. Transient designing on guitars, stolen from Andrew Wade. This is so that every little pick attack at the beginning after silence gets boosted by 6 dB. Can you hear that? Weak. Strong. Very important here at the breakdown. There. And then I wanted to excite to the highs, and the exciter plugin I used was Waves Vitamin. There's a little bit of boost right here on the high mid region. This is just a fancy EQ that has a little bit of distortion in it, really. There you go. Check out this for a mixed bass. It's just massive. I gotta love it. There's some lo-fi guitar moments. It's the same tone, but you just turn on the lo-fi pedal within Jason Richardson, which is awesome. It instantly gives you that. Then you just refine it with EQ. Cutting lots of lows and lots of highs. Sounds like a radio thing. And after this part, there's a very cool repeat effect in the original. You can hear the guitars go wham wham. The way I do it is I copy that lo-fi and then I put H delay on it, and I put the delay with a lo-fi setting, and I just let it have long feedback. And that gives you this cool atmosphere. This lo-fi is just on a different track because I wanted to control its volume independently, but it's the same lo-fi tone. Okay, so cleans. I was very lazy with the cleans today. Even with them being super important, I just didn't have the patience. So this is the main rhythm clean in the first chill section. First things first, if this is double tracked in the original, it's so tight. So what I did is tracked one and put waves doubler on it. This makes it so that it sounds like there's two different parts because it just duplicates it and detunes one from the other. It sounds like a chorus effect. Then reverb heavy, so that's 13 seconds and 60% mix. Very, very, very heavy reverb. Makes it sound so good. Control low end all the way up to 400 and further here. Oh, this is a cut. Making it a little bit less boxy at 350. And the rest is just variations on this. Oh, so that one was just the DI, right? This one has a sim on it. SS11X on the stock settings, just mess with the EQ a bit and put the hall reverb. Making it way less boxy with the EQ, cutting all the way to 300 and cutting out some 1K, which is very honky, helps a lot. Into compression to keep it loud, into soothe. Hopefully you can hear it whistle a little bit. And now, loads of those whistles gone with soothe. Very, very nice tool. And this is the clean that carries the song in the end. Same here, but 70% mix. And a little bit more of a complex EQ. I want this one to be a little bit brighter, as you see. Just boosting all around. What's the most important move here? There's a note that is very harsh in this region, and there's the dynamic cut for it. Here we go. That is very honky here, so a dynamic EQ takes control of it just at the right time. Yep. Let's move on to all kinds of leads. So, by order of appearance. So this is STL Will Putney, 5150, playing with some different impulses today. So these are the Jens Bogren impulses, very mid-rangey, cool for leads I've actually been finding. Yep. Very similar to Cabinets 3 or 4, my favorite of the bunch, mid-rangey. The chorus pedal on this guy, it just gets super crazy and wide. So this is Wave GTR chorus pedal. If you can find something that sounds like this, you'll be set for these crazy sounds. Control, what is this? Control EQ. Just making it a lot thinner. Taking care of whistles, high cutting. And just dynamically reducing this mid-range, I guess. A little reverb to put it into place. 3 seconds, 50%. here too. Now we're going to enter into this wet lead territory. You know how I like to do these? Same tone, but you just slam it into your 100% wet reverb. That's the thing. Then the decay is whatever you want it to be. 5 seconds here worked, and then you control the rumble right there. It's the same EQ as the lo-fi effect. The EQ is very important. And the reverb, of course, is everything. This is a low gain, low reverb variant of that. Yeah, 50% reverb instead of 100 and low gain. Gonna get you that annoying sound, kind of. Now here we go. This is the semitone guy. So this is honestly that tone, but dry. It's just a dry tone. I thought I'd have to do a lot of effects on that part, but it's just dry, dead center, and it do sound kind of cool. You just have to EQ it a lot too. Biggest culprit is this 350 region. Very ugly. You take it out and it mixes itself. Very cool. Those are the lead sounds. And now, to show you some secret weapons that you now own if you have the stems. So this is a fucking low-end secret weapon. This is my brother playing the didgeridoo. This is the original note. And if I pitch it down to the F, alongside some crazy EQ to just make it very bright. Yeah, if I take it off. Oh, it actually sounds dope with it off. Whatever you can learn from this. It's just that I'm taking a lot of mid-range out of it. I'm just scooping it like a guitar. And I'm blending this with the bass. And it sounds evil. So there's a secret weapon there. Bass drop. Unaffected. Falls from a very high place, which is cool. Sounds kind of crazy, different from what I usually use. And then there's strings at the end, right? Free strings, Spitfire Audio Labs. I guess still can't believe this is free. And I just EQ them for softness with a big cut at 3K. Which honestly could even not be there. Very beautiful. So there you go, guys. That is the mix. Oh, let's talk master bus for sure. How am I squashing this? So I just turn everything on, and you can definitely hear a difference. Look at all of them off. Fuck. Very cool, aggressive curve. So Gullfoss is the first thing. And this guy gives me an EQ with infinite little points that are always trying to adjust to balance my mix to an ideal curve that is just magic, and it's their own signature, right? So it always tries to balance my bass to a constant volume, always boosts some sheen of the cymbals. You can see it's not doing much to the bass because my bass is crazy on this mix and it likes it. Whatever, this guy's a little secret weapon. Mix bus compression, important. So you always want to, come on. I mean, in this style, you always want a little bit of kick and snare hitting the whole mix in a mix bus compressor to make sure that they duck the rest of the instruments so that they can shine, the kick and snare, and when they're not playing, the rest of the instruments can come up. Instead of having a static mix where they're poking through, you have a very bouncy and moving mix with the kick and snare. It's exactly what I say. When I thumbs down, you get a flat mix that has a kick and snare poking through. When I thumbs it up, everything grows and the kick and snare are kind of gelled inside of the thing. Yeah, mix bus compression, bro. And here's a complicated version of that. So if you grab a multi-band compressor, you can change that relationship within frequency regions. So this is like my final EQ on the mix. What I choose to do is usually just run the mix through it flat, and it always tends to duck a little bit of my mid-range. And I always tend to boost the way it grabs the bass so that it controls the kick. That is loud, awesome bass, and I always try to bring down the super highs a little bit. Yep, after that, limiter. And using a limiter is way simpler than you think. If you're using it on the master bus for metal, you want it to cut off your kick and your snare, and that's basically it. If you wanna go more, you can go more at your discretion. It will distort the mix a little bit, but if you like that, you like that. And if you just want it to cut the kick and snare, that's all you do, and it lets everything else go up. You can see that's mostly what I'm doing here. If the kick and snare are hitting, you see it cut, and when they're not, you see very little movement. That is my mix, guys. I'm very happy with this cover. I showed you some secret weapons here, and that's why you subscribe. So thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.